joke. I cannot believe this is happening. I'm literally about to fucking kill myself, and I'm not kidding. You better fucking fix this shit right now. I literally am gonna die. I need an ambulance.
I hear that baby crying. I like it.
If Trump wins, how about bursting into tears and screaming fuck for the next 45 minutes?
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion, and I mean literally crying.
Everybody is crying and so upset, and it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
What a baby.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen? Experienced politician versus racist fake gynecologist.
Get your abortions now, because we're going to be fucked, and we're going to have to live with it.
Stop whining.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
What a beautiful baby. Don't worry.
I can't put a happy face on that. And that's my job.
This is the first time throughout this entire race where I'm officially shitting my pants.
What difference at this point does it make?
You might find out in about a month there, Hillary.
Boy, did you see the pictures of her, like the first thing a week later?
Yeah, just from the last day or so where she came out with no makeup on.
Wow.
Yeah.
She aged 10 years in a week.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing what makeup will do.
Yeah, and stopping the Botox injections or something.
Yeah. Well, she's an old lady, dude. She's 70 years old.
Oh, good. Hopefully she finds her way to the grave.
Yeah, well, I hope this will be the end we ever have to hear about the Clintons ever again.
Yeah, it's people younger than us will, because Chelsea's going to fucking find her way to Congress in 20 years. But
sure.
Thank God Olive's shuffled off.
Right.
Boy, there won't be a person that beautiful in Washington since what, Janet Reno? Oof. That's a whole lot of ugly.
Sure.
She really is an ugly girl, isn't she? Chelsea Clinton.
She's definitely got her mother's round chipmunk cheeks.
Round cheeks? What are you talking about? You know what she looks like? Something at fucking Thistledown. She looks like a horse.
Who, Chelsea Clinton?
Yes.
Well, she looks like her mother in the face.
Oh, God.
She does.
All right, if you say so. I don't know.
You don't think she does?
I don't know. She just defines ugly to me.
Yeah, well, whatever. Well, we do have a new president-elect in Trump.
Yes. Are you happy?
I am. It's the weirdest thing. I feel normal for the first time in over 8 years.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I feel hopeful again. Actually, I do. I feel actually hopeful again.
Okay.
Not that I think that the election of Trump is like the second coming of the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I say this, and only because it's been proven,
mm-hmm.
everything that guy said he was going to do,
yeah,
he did it.
Okay.
When he announced for the presidency and he was up against 16 or 17 other people,
yeah,
and he was able to dispatch each one of them one by one,
right,
and then take on Hillary
mm-hmm.
and the establishment and her millions upon millions of dollars she spent on her campaign, and still came out on top.
Yeah,
and was able to withstand the barrage of negative media,
right,
and the quote unquote the scandals that came out, the fact that he didn't release his taxes. Like, what are you going to gain from that?
Well, and it's not required, but okay.
No, it's not required. It's just a tradition.
Yeah,
that's all. And then, of course, the pussy grabbing.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that was very offensive.
Yeah, well, not that. It's just that they made such a big deal about it.
Well, I was shocked and outraged.
Yeah,
let
I'm
me
sure
tell
you were. But sexual improprieties have sunk other people.
Which is ironic that the other side would be complaining about that. The one that fought so hard to get, marriage of guys fucking guys.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what they chose.
But the thing is this guy did not waver.
No,
he didn't come out and be all apologetic and try to pander to anybody.
Right.
He just did what he does, and he just said, you know what? Yeah, I said some stuff that wasn't that was unsavory.
Right.
Deal with it.
Yep.
That's just how it was.
Yeah.
And he won.
Yeah, and he were you surprised, honestly?
Was I surprised? I was a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But I've had it in the back of my mind, and I think that I've said it here on the show even way back when he first announced that I was a Trump guy. I was in the Trump camp even before he started to emerge as the forerunner in the candidacy.
Yeah, you were on board when there was like 16 people.
I was.
You were on board from day one.
I was. And I had it in the back of my mind that this guy is going to shake things up and he's going to make it happen.
Right.
Because I went back and looked at some of the reports from, all the media, which now after this election, mainstream media, not one of them has credibility. Not there was a lot of credibility before, but they've all proved that none of them have credibility. None of them.
Do you think, who do you think has more realistically, countrywide, not just here with us, but do you think guys like Alex Jones have more credibility now than CBS News?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
I think that, Alex Jones is a little on the fringe.
Right.
But at least they're reporting the real thing because they've got that, what's that? She's kind of a cute chick. What's that girl's name? She's out on the ground all the time. Millie?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that Millie chick. She's often in Ohio. I don't know if she lives in Ohio or she just happens to, go to a lot of the rallies and stuff.
Right.
But at least the one thing I got to give Alex Jones, even though he does come off as a little bit of a loon at times,
right?
He at least they put people on the ground that report the real news.
Right.
They don't make up things. Well, and I'm just going to give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Like when InfoWars and his guys on the ground went to, like, say, Hillary rally.
Okay.
They showed exactly how many people were there.
Sure.
Because they had the widescreen shot, and they showed that basically more often than not, whatever venue that they were having some kind of a rally, it was more than half empty.
Right. They cut it in half.
Yeah. And then the real media, the mainstream media,
right,
they would close in on it to make it look like the place was full.
Right. Just do that shot from the stage.
Exactly.
Like the first 3 rows.
Exactly. So that's where credibility comes in. It's just and then they would, if they went to, say, like a Trump rally where Trump literally had 18, 25, 30,000 people show up.
Right.
And people are standing outside, they would show that too. But the mainstream media never reported those numbers.
No,
they didn't say Trump held a rally in, Pensacola, Florida, and 29,000 people showed up. You never heard that, ever.
Nope.
Never.
No, they were definitely in the tank for... Well, and it was funny. Dude, did you see some of the, like, Stephen Colbert?
Look at that. Look at that.
That's funny.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert, what about him?
So he had a special. He went out of his way to have a special where he could be uncensored.
Yeah, he did a live show during the election night
on Showtime.
I think Showtime. Yep.
But as it went on, he couldn't do any of the stuff that he had prepared
because they were so confident that Hillary was going to be the winner.
Yeah, they thought that it was going to be a landslide.
Yeah, they geared their entire show around the fact that Hillary was going to come out victorious.
Right. And it was so funny watching his. I watched some clips from his show, and it was just funny watching him just fucking eat a dick because he fucking couldn't do anything.
Just like what Hillary's doing in that picture.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they all you need to do is change that to Stephen Colbert's face.
Right. It was just funny to watch. I mean, as I've said many times, and Lord knows because you're a Trump guy, I guess I'm a Trump guy. But I did not have a dog in the race. So my personal thought is I do like some of the stuff that he says he's going to do. But you know what? I liked some of the stuff Obama said he was going to do as well. And Obama just failed.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, all I care about is he better fucking come through. If he doesn't, I'll be the first one to crucify this.
Of course,
guy.
and I agree with you 100%. But this is what, in my opinion, makes me think Trump is going to be a little bit different.
Okay,
the guy doesn't fail; he doesn't lose.
No, not really.
His people always talk about, well, Trump is arrogant and he's got an ego and he's this and he's that. You know what? That's what I like about him, because the reason he has an ego is because the guy comes through and does what he says he's going to do. He's going to be successful.
Right.
And he was so critical of President Obama and Hillary Clinton and the establishment and whatnot. Now he's really got something to prove.
Right.
And the thing is that Trump is so arrogant that he's not going to allow himself to go down in the annals of history,
right,
being a failure.
Well, I hope you're right. The only, and I do agree, you don't make $10 billion regardless of taxes and businesses that have failed and all the other bullshit that people will answer to this. You don't make $10 billion by giving in to what people think.
Right.
You do what the fuck you're going to do, and you don't care what people think. That's why I find these fucking children out there protesting to be absolutely funny, because they somehow think that this guy's going to fucking adopt their message or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Nope.
This is a guy that is not going to ever give a fuck what you say, what I say, what anybody says. Got an idea, and he's going to ram it through. My only sort of concern, I guess, is that politics, while I'm all for a business guy being in Washington, in the Oval Office, I would be cautious, and I hope he understands that it's not a business this time.
Yeah.
That the political arena is only partially business.
Yeah, I agree.
A small part. So he's going to have to learn a lot on the fly, too.
Yeah, but the thing is if you look at the people he's got lining up on his side to be a part of his administration,
right?
These are all very knowledgeable people.
Right. What is all this stuff? I've checked out a long time ago, and I'm not paying that much attention to it. What is all this nonsense about the Klan now? Is he a Klan guy, or did he bring in a Klan guy or something?
He wants his attorney general to be a guy from the South.
That was in the Klan?
No.
Seeing that this guy, that there's like a Klan thing. Is that just bullshit?
He was accused. This guy was accused of saying some quote unquote racially insensitive things about 30 years ago.
Oh, so it's the PC crowd again.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that doesn't matter.
No, not at all.
Well, and apparently Trump don't care.
No, he doesn't. He wants a guy who can do the job.
Right.
And here's the other thing that gave me some faith too. You know how close Richard Christie, or Chris Christie, not Richard Christie, but Chris Christie was to the Trump campaign.
Right. Sure.
He gave him the boot.
He said, "Beat it."
He says, "You know what? You kind of fucked up there, Chris. I can't have you part of my my transition team."
He threw him right the fuck out.
And anybody who was associated with him got the boot.
Yeah. Well, good.
It's
Look, I like that this guy's going to come in with an iron fist. You know, I'm good with that. I just, again, my whole thing is, I have a simple agenda, me personally. I don't know what bills you want or what things you want to see or don't want to see. The only thing I want to see from this guy, and it will be the success or fail as far as I'm concerned, is he better repeal that fucking ridiculous penalty for the privilege of not having health care.
I agree. I completely agree.
That's the only thing I care. I don't care about if you want to have national health care, fine. I always thought we did with Medicaid, but whatever. If you want to have that, that's all good. Have that, have at it, have whatever this plan is that people can sign up and they can get their health care with pre-existing conditions. All that shit is great. I'll give that part to Obama. He had a good theory, but you can't penalize people if they choose not to buy a fucking product.
Yeah, well, see, herein lies the outlier for that whole Obamacare. Yeah. By instilling a penalty against you if you don't participate, it was trying to coerce you to participate because it takes everybody to participate to make that thing successful.
Right.
And if you don't want to, you shouldn't have to. But the thing is the more people who don't want to, it falls flat, which it has, because all these insurance providers are backing out of this thing because they're losing money like crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to accept that rich people are going to make money.
Yeah, and not only that, you can't give something away for free. You can't do it.
Mm-mm. If you want to if you can't afford, and I'm all for people that can't afford health care being given health care. On that level, I'm for that. They should have to jump through the hoops to get it. They should have to, drug test and all that other shit, to get it. But you know what? Somebody's making fucking $8 an hour and they can't get another job and they have no goddamn job skills and they break their leg or something. Yeah, fix their fucking leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for that. I'm good with that.
Sure.
My problem is me, who's been to the doctor 6 times in 10 fucking years. 6. My total bills are maybe $3,500. Maybe. In those 10 years of doctor bills, right?
Yep.
I've never had insurance during that time. I've always just paid outright. Just go in. It's $540. I fucking plunk down the credit card. Out.
Sure.
And I'm done. For me, the healthcare is $400 and X a month.
Right.
Because of the burn accident.
Sure.
Because I have pre-existing condition.
Right.
That's with the Obamacare. That means I will pay more in a year than I have in 10.
Right.
And if I choose not to do it, I'm supposed to. I'll never pay it. I will never pay it. But I'm supposed to pay $2,500 this year? Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I will never pay that. They can eat a fucking truckload of dicks as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Fuck that.
I've been to the doctor once in 30 years.
Yeah, so, and how much, do you have health insurance?
I do now.
What's it cost you?
$100 a month.
And that's
not a month, a week.
100 a week, 400 a month.
400 a month.
400 a month. And you're as healthy as anybody.
Yep.
So you're paying $5,000 a year, $4,800 or $5,200 a year.
Mm-hmm.
$5,200 a year for a person that hasn't been to the doctor one time in 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Fuck that. And why do you have it? Because of the law?
It was offered to me and I can afford it. And, and I tried to average it out to what the penalty would be as opposed to what I'd be paying out. Yeah. And if I'm going to pay a penalty and get nothing for it, I might as well pay for it and at least get something for it.
What's the penalty for you about?
Well, it's increased. I mean, it started out at like, what, it was like $98 the first year.
Yeah.
Then it doubled. The second year was like $200. Now it's getting up into the thousands now.
Yeah. See, mine is 20. What was mine? 20 some, $2,000 some dollars.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. I don't have an extra $2,000 to give away for the privilege of not having anything.
Exactly.
That's fucking stupid.
I agree.
And that's where Obama lost me. One of many places.
Yeah, I agree. I know both of us were just livid with that whole thing.
Yeah, I was, and I don't forgive that. At some point they're going to repeal it.
It's not even so much the mandate. It's how they rammed this thing through Congress without one Republican vote.
And change the voting, change what a majority was.
That's what I'm angry about, is how they change things around just to ram it through.
Nah, fucking bullshit. Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Yep.
Hate it. And because of it, Obama can fucking suck a bag of dicks. Get out.
Exactly.
50, how many days? Too many.
Yeah, well, it's what, 20 days in January, 31 days in December, and then whatever's left in this month, 11 days?
10, 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck that guy. Get out.
Exactly. So anyway, aside from, the obvious Trump victory, another observation I want to make, and then I'll let you give your observations, because I don't want to dominate too much. I know our fans are not fans of political talk, and I don't want to make this all about political stuff. Yeah. But here's my observation. I was watching some of the coverage of the people in the Clinton camp, not specifically in her campaign, but the people who were out there voting or rooting for Hillary.
At the rally or
whatever?
Yeah,
at the rally, or, they were waiting for the returns on election night or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And the one common thread that I noticed in the coverage, and I've brought this to the show before, and this just, I don't know if it irritates me or just angers me or makes me a raging white male or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
It's these males who are part of this I don't know what you want to call it, this group, these metrosexual
faggots,
these effeminate, weak looking, just pussified men who are looking toward a strong woman as their leader. And this goes back to everything I've said on the show about these men who did not have a strong male role model in their lives.
Right.
And they're just wimpy, pussified little faggots. And they're out there just hopping around, cheering for Hillary Clinton. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know.
and I see that. And then, of course, the girls that I'm looking at, they don't even look like chicks. They're just like androgynous almost. They have this. I don't even know what the look is. I can't even.
It's called the Janine. It's the Janine Garofalo look.
Yeah, it's just so unattractive and unappealing. The guys are pussified. They're very wimpy. Yeah. They're very weak. They're very delicate looking men, if you can call them men. And the women look androgynous. Yeah. They have no female characteristics aside from maybe some of them have longer hair.
Well, that's because they're trying to. Just because you're not supposed to recognize them as women anymore, dude. You're supposed to recognize them as an equal.
Ugh.
That's why.
And the other one that I wouldn't mind if I'm going to use a Chris Aikenism, I wouldn't mind if she died in a fire.
All right.
Rachel Maddow. I cannot take looking at that horse face, whatever, and I gotta laugh every time I see that Mark Dice.
Yeah.
Every time he makes mention of her, he calls her Richard Maddow.
Right.
Let's see what Richard Maddow over at MSNBC has to say.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that guy either.
Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah.
But these are the people who are weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth because a strong male took over the office. And he isn't some kind of pussified weakling like Obama.
Right.
You know, so they can't identify with Trump, who is going to take out a big paddle and spank their little asses and send them to bed.
Well, here's what I'm hoping with Trump. You know how they always say that the country takes the mood of the president or whatever that term is?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm hopeful that we will start to see, and it's going to take all 8 years if Trump can fucking get reelected, and that's a long way down the road.
Sure.
It's going to take all 8 years to turn this politically correct faggotry around, if it can be done. And that I don't know, but I hope that we start seeing some of that come through, with Trump. That the people stop being such a bunch of fucking butthurt pussies all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's a possibility?
I think that from a leadership standpoint, that people will want to stand up and be a little more assertive and be a little more, aggressive. And I don't mean aggressive in a way that I'm going to run you down with my big truck. I mean aggressive or more confident, and not just be a little Weasley wuss, right? Because the people who represent our country, or the citizenry of our country,
right?
We need to be strong in order to, hold our place in the world as a leader.
Right.
If all of our citizenry become the weak metrosexual men that I saw at the Hillary campaign, at the rallies and stuff,
right,
we're doomed, because there will be no one to stand up and fight and protect this country.
Well, that's true. And you know what the weird thing is about those faggots that are in the Hillary camp like that? She's not like that. I will give Hillary Clinton this much credit. I hate this bitch more than I hate pedophiles. She's a tough bitch.
Yeah, but see, she's the scolding mother.
But she is a tough bitch. She's not. She is not those metro queers that you saw at her rallies.
Mm-hmm.
She is the total polar opposite of those fruits. She's a fucking tough bitch. Look at when she was battling Trump. Some of the clips I saw, she went right after that fucking guy.
Yeah.
And that didn't seem like she was putting it on. That seemed like that's who she is.
Yeah, but the thing is and again, I'm going to agree somewhat with you, but the thing is that she is such a robot that she has to be programmed, wound up, and sent out there.
Right.
When she gets away from her talking points, which is the reason why she won't do open interviews,
right? Because
she can't be prepped. And when that Matt Lauer did that thing, what was it called, the Commander-in-Chief Forum or whatever?
Oh yeah.
And he asked her a question off the script.
Right.
There are all kinds of reports out there that she lost her fucking mind. because he asked her something off the script.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that she's brilliant. What I'm saying is that she doesn't. What I'm saying is the people that were her followers, the way that they are, is not how she is.
Yeah, so I agree, but they're not emulating her in any way, shape, or form. They're just looking to be led.
But what? And that's the point. Why are they not looking to be led by this guy? This guy's a ball buster too.
Yeah, but see, because he doesn't represent their mother,
and she does.
Yeah, she's the scolding mother. Oh. She's the strong parent figure that raised the boys.
Okay.
She didn't raise them to be men. She just raised them to be subservient little wimps.
What?
These are the boys, and I use that term, that ride in the passenger seat while their girlfriend drives and pumps the gas.
Jesus Christ.
Those are the guys.
I am so glad that me, and I'll give Georgetta credit where credit's due, because she did more raising than me. We did not raise our kids to be fucking pussies like that. Thank God. Can you imagine the embarrassment of, oh, here's my son. Yeah, him, the one in the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Oh. Just, that's got to be brutal.
Mm-hmm. But I blame our generation for being the guys who up and left their families and either knocked up some chicks and banged out kids. And that's the other thing. It's just I may bring this to the table tonight. I don't know, because it may not be a great subject. About these guys who hook up with these girls and will chance unprotected sex with them, even though they have no intention of, and I'm going to use an old term here, make an honest woman of them should something happen, like have a baby with them.
Why are you picking on me?
But the thing is that the guys, these young guys, a lot of them are products of fatherless homes.
Right.
So the only role model they have is their mother, and they grow up weak and pussified.
Yeah.
So Hillary Clinton to them is a leader. Because she's like their mother.
Right.
Now, Johnny, just do like I tell you. Yes, mommy.
Right. Go comb your hair with that sissy look.
Exactly.
Use your sister's comb.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just my observation. I'm glad it's over.
Sure.
I'm glad my guy won. I'm hopeful for maybe some positive changes. Get things back on track. Stop with the social justice warriors. Stop with the social issues. Everything is not a social issue. Let's get back on track. Let's make our military strong again. Let's make our economy strong again. Let's get back to business. Let's go back to work.
Right.
Let's not worry about flying a rainbow flag, and let's not worry about, somebody calling you a harsh name, and safe spaces and microaggressions and being a precious little snowflake. And, I hope all that goes away soon. I know it won't. I know that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But I hope it goes away soon. I hope, as you said, that the attitude and the demeanor of the leader will trickle down, perhaps, and become the attitude of the country.
Do you think, and I don't know, and I'm sure you don't know either, but I'm just curious what you think. Do you think that certain things will change immediately? And I'll point to a specific example. You got all these children out there fucking rioting right now, and by rioting, there's protesting and there's rioting.
Mm-hmm.
These fucking children are rioting.
Sure.
Burning shit up, breaking up cars, breaking windows, beating people up, whatever. Do you think that President Trump or whoever he puts in office to handle, civil affairs, more or less, Homeland Security and all that stuff, do you think that those people are going to fucking take the handcuffs off the cops and let them start cracking some?
Yeah, I do. I think that Trump will put people like Sheriff Clark, and Sheriff Arpaio, and people like that who are law and order guys.
Right.
I think he's going to empower those guys to go out there and crack some skulls.
Okay. Because Lord knows it is time for that, don't you think?
I agree.
And to be honest, it's also time to hold cops accountable. It's a two-way. I think that's a two-way problem.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you but I think that we need to untie the cops' hands and get out there and say, knock that shit off.
Right. And I think for people that think that they can get up in a cop's face and scream and holler and push and all that shit, a baton should absolutely rack them across the fucking teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Bang! Dude, and I've told this story before on the show, and I'll just reference it here. I won't tell the whole story, but I got my ass beat by the cops in Kent.
Sure.
Because I fucking acted like an asshole and punched a cop in the face and took his teeth out. And you know what? I should have. And you know what I learned from that? Not to fuck with the cops. And now the cops don't fuck with me. You know why? Because I don't fuck with them. Even when I go and do stupid shit, when I've done shit since that I knew I was going to get arrested for or whatnot, fighting a neighbor or whatever, I just sat on my lawn or in my front yard and waited for them to come and get me.
Right.
And they did. Hands came out. You want them in the front or the back? And in the car I went. I didn't fight them.
Mm-hmm.
I took my punishment. I accepted the reaction to my action. And we need that. We need people. I see these fucking, and I haven't watched much of this stuff that's going on now, but I'm assuming it's going on. I watched a lot of the Black Lives Matter shit in Ferguson, where the cops were just getting spit in their face and fucking pushed, and those cops didn't do anything. They just took it. And as far as I'm concerned, they should have pulled out the rubber bullets and started blasting people in the eyes.
Right.
Just to make them blind. Fuck them. That's how that should be handled. But, that's what I'm actually hopeful for, is that we get some semblance of law, order, and respect back into this fucking local country.
Right.
Local, or not local, but into the continental United States.
Sure.
It's time.
I agree.
It's just time. We've let it go way too long with fucking with this. We've let it go way too long with this attitude of everybody gets whatever the fuck they want, and now it's time to shut that shit down.
Well, which is kind of interesting that at the end of Trump's acceptance speech or his election night speech.
Right.
They ended the night with Rolling Stones, "You Can't Always Get What You Want."
Right.
Which I thought that was a great move.
That was funny. That was totally funny.
Well, any more observations?
Just my biggest observation is I want to see these fucking children locked down. This fucking protesting nonsense is fucking ridiculous. This crying. What? The colleges? How are these college administrators not fired on the spot? How are they not fired? Oh, well, we're going to cancel finals? We're going to cancel finals because your pussy hurts?
Because you're traumatized?
Shut up. Take your fucking test or flunk. End of discussion. What is fucking wrong with these people?
Well, again, it's the whole coddling, and I see the term floating around out there, the special little snowflakes.
Yeah, of course.
Why is everybody so delicate?
I know. I don't know.
Where did this delicacy come from? Why is everybody so delicate?
Yeah, I don't know. But now the big thing now is, well, I can't be your friend anymore if you voted for Trump.
Well, you weren't probably never my friend to begin with. And
I lost a job this week because I voted for Trump.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, okay, whatever. The guy obligated to doing a website, and then we got to talking. He asked me who I voted for. I told him. The next day he called me up and said, well, I can't do the site with you anymore.
Well, whatever.
It's like, all right, works for me, dude.
Yeah, eat a dick.
And that was about it, too. I was like, fuck,
whatever. Eat a dick, you delicate little snowflake.
How about this? I'm not going to fucking beg you. I'll just find more money somewhere else.
Sure, absolutely.
Because as somebody that leans somewhat to the right, I understand that you just keep working and you keep making money.
That's exactly right.
I'm not waiting for it to come to me. Fucking cunts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that's all. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of... I know you are glass is not only half full, but it's mostly full, and it's full of the best tasting wine in the history of the world.
Right.
I'm a much more, this fucking guy better produce.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat, dude. I'm in the same camp.
But
my attitude is, if there's anyone who can actually get it done, this guy can get it done.
Yeah, I would have never supported Hillary Clinton. I would have been miserable for 4 to 8 more years. But that being said, and you know how I am, dude. I'm the guy that the minute Trump does something fucked up, I'll say it, and I'll be calling my senator and my congressman and saying, you better fucking represent me. Because that's what I did for the last 8 years. I've got 100 of those fucking letters that, the form letters that come back from the Senate and the Congress when you call or you email or whatever.
Sure.
I have at least 100 of those laying around here that says, thank you for your concern regarding, and then in parentheses, whatever the issue was.
Sure.
And just so you understand, Senator DeWine is blah, 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 blah for this issue. I should just take pictures of them and post them on Facebook, because I do have a bunch of them. I am actually politically active in that area, but, Trump better do his shit. That's all. And I'm not denying that he won't. And I certainly will give him every opportunity to. I'll support. And I hope he does good shit. I hope he makes it near impossible to vote against him in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my biggest hope. And I'll tell you what, I will say this part, though. No matter who you voted for or who you supported this time, if you didn't vote, you are no matter what, part of the problem. You're part of the reason that the popular vote didn't go to Trump, and or you're part of the reason your candidate lost. Period. 49% of eligible voters didn't vote. Bunch of fucking bitches.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bitch move. Yep. I don't care what anybody says. If you didn't vote, you're a bitch.
Right. And you got no right to complain.
You know what? You do have a right to complain. You always have a right to complain. That's like saying you can't complain about the new Metallica record because you didn't record it. You know, you can absolutely always complain, but your complaint is just like that of a child that doesn't like green beans. It really doesn't hold a lot of weight because you didn't take the step to fix it. You know what I mean? But you can complain. I complain away, but I'm going to laugh at you. That's really what it comes down to.
Sure.
You know, so anyway.